What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the stream, and today for you we've got our second draft day of this rebuild franchise. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm a little nervous for this one. I kind of screwed up in the first year. I tried to change up my strategy a little bit, but I don't think it was that successful. I kind of over scouted early on, like in the outfield, and kind of felt like I didn't get enough chance to scout guys I really wanted to throughout other positions, but we'll kind of see how it goes. I think I did a decent job of scouting like the top 50 players, so I do have 3 picks in the top 42 raw picks, so hopefully I can nail those 3 picks, and then we'll just take some swings on guys later in the draft. But here we go. I'm going to get started. I kind of wish they would let you skip through these picks here. But I guess we'll just have to watch. So the Orioles are taking Claudio Lopez. This is a guy that I scouted pretty well. I liked him, although I did see that he's got some injury history there, so that's a little bit concerning. Second pick here is going to go to the Twins. I'm surprised the Twins have the second pick. And they're going to take Orlando Coles. Okay, that's a guy I didn't even scout, so not worried about that. I feel pretty comfortable for who's going to be there at the 8th overall pick. I have a few guys scouted that I'm intrigued by. I'll look in on them as we get closer here. So the Athletics are taking Jamal Yeager. I think is how you would say that. This is a guy I almost scouted. He looked intriguing. That's a big-time reach, I think. But let's see. Send him to the Royals next pick. Alrighty, so we are up. I don't recognize any of those names, but it doesn't mean anything. Okay, so we are going to be looking at how do I want to do this? I guess we could go by scouted. Let's just go by top 100. Okay, whatever. All right, Johnny Frost. I didn't love Johnny Frost. Maybe could do that. Actually, it's not bad. I worry a little bit about that wide potential range. I'd like to get somebody who's a little bit more scouted. I wish I would have had a little bit more time to do more in depth, like really kind of close the gap of, those windows. Lawrence was a guy I liked. Okay, 80 to 92, so I'm guaranteed a B potential here, but doesn't have a ton of strikeouts per 9. What else? What else do we scout here for pitching? Okay. This is the guy I scouted late. And he looks like he's not half bad, but he's going to be drafted later in the draft. Okay, so that was a good scouting dive there. Okay. Let's see. Right fielders. Not even win the A potential range. I like him, but maybe he'll fall. Let's see, who else do we have here? Nobody else to speak of, really. Center field, I did like Diego Ramos, and he's 70% scouted, so I feel a little bit better about him. I just don't love how he doesn't hit for any power. Mike Phillips, this is a guy, 77 and 91. So not bad. And some guys later in the draft. So Diego Ramos is draft rank of 7. Probably could be comfortable taking him. I just really, really, really wish he had for more power. I'd be more comfortable taking him if he had for more power. But Ramos, Garcia. Okay, let's look at Ramos, and then one of those pitchers. So I think the pitcher I probably would like is Lawrence. Oh man, Lawrence is nice, but I think Ramos might be who I end up going with here. Jim Martinez. I like Jim Martinez. And Johnny Frost. Do I take a chance here with a little bit less scouted guy? He's got decent strikeout numbers. Or do I take that center fielder? I might go with the center fielder. I'm just so hesitant right now because I screwed up last draft and I don't want to do it again. Ashton. We'll see if he falls. Ray Ramos was a 7 and 8, and he is a 15 and 10. You know, let's go Ramos. I'm trusting the draft ranks there. I got a pretty good scouting report on him, and maybe we could just work on developing that power because he's got all the other skills intact. So let's take Ramos and see what happens. All right, so let's sim to our next pick. Competitive balance round pick. Let's see who made it through. Manny Garcia made it through. Let's see any of those pitchers. So no. None of those pitchers I was looking at unfortunately dropped. What about the right fielder I liked? No, but there's a couple of guys I scouted that I would be interested in looking at, but not right now. Okay, so pitchers, Calzado. Okay, all right. I think this is a guy I would be willing to take. He's not fully scouted. Luna, he's a later pick. I might take him. I could consider him at 42. See if he drops also. Okay. And then second baseman Moreno. Potential's a 78. He was one of those higher ranked prospects that just does not look very good. Let's see, Domingo Juarez. This is another guy to talk about. Okay, so I got a couple of picks here. I think getting out of here with Juarez and Calzado, both somebody. I'm going to take Calzado first, and then we'll see if Juarez goes. I think that's going to be my next pick, though. Okay, let's go to our next pick. Burke. Juarez is available, so who's left for who's falling right now? Relief pitcher. Ooh, Pedro Velasquez. The Juarez is right there. So, Pedro Velasquez. This is a guy apparently I did not discover. He's falling. He was a draft rank of 17. Or he's 17 for me, but he was unranked. Interesting. Let's see what other third basemen are available that I might end up liking. I don't love the options here. Okay, but he's a 76 potential maximum. So Juarez is the only guy that I think I might like. He doesn't have very good arm strength, though. And you know what? What pitchers do I like that I scouted later? Danny Luna's one of them. But I don't need Danny Luna, although he is guaranteed to be at least a 71 pretty much. Any other pitchers back here? I might be willing to just say screw it and take a shot. Big time velocity, big time. You know what? I'm going to say screw it, let's take a shot. This might be an awful decision, but we'll see. Sometimes you got to risk it. I think this is a situation where I like the first two picks I made, so I feel like I can take a chance. All right, so next pick. Now, there was somebody, Danny Luna was the one I was targeting at this pick, and if I don't like anybody else, I can always go with him. Bobby Brady. Okay. So that's a guy I could take another swing. I might just say screw it and just swing, because nothing else worked. I wish I could have scouted more players. Let's see what we got for hitters available right now. There was actually pretty underwhelming fielders in this draft as I was looking. So there wasn't a ton of guys I feel like I missed out on scouting. Let's see, what do I have left that's scouted? Hernandez, not great, but not awful. Kramer, that's it. There's just three guys. Kramer, good power. He is not ranked. I could probably get him with the next pick. So do I take Luna or do I swing for Bobby Brady? His power left's not great, but he is a lefty. That's an interesting thing. His fielding's really good, but his arm strength's not great. Maybe I do go with the. Let's see what else is available. What other positions might be available? Villarreal. More contact. Cruz. No, I don't want to really draft a first baseman. Brian Samuel. Lacking a little power. Plus, we already drafted one. Ramirez. Shortstop, an elite defender. Okay, Sebastian Blanco. An elite defender. Could be a decent hitter if he pans out. But he also could have awful potential. Overall, could be awful for Brady, but you know, it's screw it. I'm just going to do it. We are going to have another awful draft class, but you know, it is what it is, right? Okay, let's see. Is Brady still there by chance? No, he's not. Okay, so what was that right fielder that I looked at? Kramer. I feel like I'd be comfortable enough to take a shot on him here. Possibly 81 potential. I love the power he's got. And a little bit of speed too. Could move him to left field more likely, but what else are we looking at? All right. Good Lord, these guys actually have 0 as possible. I doubt that they'll be 0, but still. Don't want to draft a 23-year-old. So, all right. $76 potential. Let's try to find somebody who has got like 90 potential. Something over 90 left. Great. The pitchers are not ideal right now. This interface could be a little bit better. I mean, you can't sort by anything. It's kind of annoying to deal with. But let's see. Yeah, none of these shortstop are doing anything for me right now. I might as well just swing for another pitcher, I guess. I still don't love how they don't tell you what pitches these guys throw. Reggie Rosales, good strikeout numbers, could be good velocity. You know what? I might just go with him. Oh, this guy's got a decent amount on there. Fuck it. Let's just go Rosales. All right. I do not have high confidence for this draft, but we shall see. Let's see what's left around the no power. This guy's got power. Maybe I'll swing with him. I don't think he'll be any good, but we'll see. Sam Bullock. Wow, that's a Moreno. Okay, this can play. A little bit of speed there. Chavez, interesting, but he's probably going to be a very low overall. Let's see. Oh, okay, but he's 23 overall. He's 23 already. He's going to be a low overall, so don't love that. Same there. Such wide. So Chavez is an option. Could also try to swing for a catcher, unlike we did last time. Didn't work out. Faulkner's interesting, but he could be a 27 overall. Ooh, power. But 48 potential is a possibility. Only 82 maximum. Yeah, this is definitely a lot harder to do this year than previous years. Bullock or good arm strength. Screw it. I'll do Bullock then. Alrighty. Last pick. One of these shortstops for your seniors. No, thank you. Chavez is still available. Well, then Chavez is who we'll take. All right, so this is probably going to be a very bad draft. I don't know. I got to figure out my strategy and how this works. But anyways, talking a little bit about how the season's gone. As you can see, we are over 500 at 47 and 43. It's been a weird year. We have had a ton of injuries across the board. See what it looks like now. This is actually a lighter list than it usually has been looking like. As you can see, I've lost so many middle infielders to injuries. A couple of guys who were hurt just came off of IL. Edward Olivares, he was out for a little bit. Harrison Bader was actually out for a little bit. And then, where is he? Michael Garcia was out for a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about how some of the guys are performing. Let's actually talk about a couple of the moves. So I did DFA Jimmy Nelson. He was off to a very poor start. He'd already dropped like 3 overall. So in his place, I brought up Jackson Kowar, who was having a pretty good season at AAA. Not really doing anything in the big leagues yet, but again, he's only got 4 innings pitched, so I'm not going to buy too much into his numbers at all. Josiah Gray was also getting touched up quite a bit. You guys saw the video I posted with him. Stuff's kind of hard to work with. But down in AAA, he's finding his pitch a little bit. We did bring up DL Hall, who's kind of struggling a little bit. We're putting him in a bullpen role because he was off to a hot start in the rotation in AAA, but I wanted to get him some work in the majors. Max Castillo, on the other hand, has been playing pretty well, so he's earned himself a little bit of a rotation spot right now. And then the final thing is, you guys saw that I had to send Michael Garcia down. Very disappointing year. He was off to a slow start before that first episode you guys saw. And but he did pick it up. He was up around like 290 on the average, was slugging over 400. But then he got hurt. And then since he got hurt, he's just been awful. So I trying to send him down to AAA, see if he can get his swing back, but it's not been a good season for him. So injuries have been kind of screwing up everything across the board. But let's take you through how some of the guys have done. So Nate Eaton has been in and out of the lineup, but he's been pretty much a staple in the lineup since Michael Garcia got hurt. You see he's had a pretty good season there. MJ Melendez has had himself a pretty good year. He's on a cold streak right now, but I really like how his numbers are looking. He's been very good at a staple in the 2-hole. Bobby Witt seems to love the 3-hole. His power numbers have exploded. You see the slugging's over 500. Wish the on-base percentage could be a little bit better. The walk rate is barely north of 3, so it's got to be better than that. A little bit concerned about that, although he's still getting some discipline gains, so that's pretty good. Vinny Pasquantino not quite hitting how the previous 2 seasons, but he's still having some pretty good numbers. Gio Urshela hasn't really brought the power that I was hoping, but okay numbers. I don't know if he's going to be fetching any type of a nice return at the deadline. So, which is okay. We do have him on a 2-year deadline, so we could possibly flip him next year. Harrison Bader has been freaking outstanding. He did get hurt, but he came back and just kept going. So I'm really excited for the year that he's having. We're definitely going to flip him because keeping him long term, that'd be nice, but I don't see him wanting to stay here long term, so let's get what we can. Drew Waters started really slow, but he's really picked it up. I pushed him, and just hey man, you got to sink or swim, and wow, I mean, that's a really good slash line, so I'm excited for that. Olivares, been up and down. He was doing well until he got hurt, and then you see what the numbers are as they are there now. Abraham Toro, we just called up. Michael Massey's been pretty decent. He was brought up because of some injuries to guys like Michael Garcia. Okay numbers there, can't complain too much. Adrianza hasn't done too much. I might end up DFAing him at some point. I took a shot on him because of the numbers last year. It really hasn't panned out too much. Hedges again here just for, veteran catching depth there. We haven't needed him because Melendez has been playing really well. Isbell, playing like a fourth outfielder. The power numbers are decent, but, the rest of the bat is not what I would hope. Switching over to the pitching rotation, Brady Singer got off to a slow start, but he has settled in, like the numbers there. Taylor Molly is going to be an excellent trade chip for us. You see the FIP and the component ERA are on point. Noah Syndergaard, pretty good season. Danny Duffy started the season well, but he's kind of cooled down since. FIP's not too bad, but component ERA is near a 5. He's lost some overall. I don't know if we're going to be able to get anything for him. We may end up just DFAing him if we want to try to let DL Hall and some of the other guys get into the rotation, but we'll see how that goes. We talked about Max Castillo. Bullpen guys, Dylan Coleman's had a rough go of it. Taylor Clark's been good. I've been getting a lot of offers for him, so I'll probably move him at the deadline. Dick Lovelady's been really good. I might move him at the deadline, specifically because a guy like Asa Lacy's been crazy. He actually had a sub-1 ERA. He's gotten blown up in his last few appearances, though, but he's got that bump to the B potential, so I'm pretty excited about him going forward. Stamot has been very good. Probably look to move him, and Stanek's been pretty good. So we got quite a few trade chips I'm going to be excited for in our next episode, which is going to be the trade deadline. Switching back to the lineups, let's take a look at some of the prospects. Nick Lofton, not been great, but he's always been more of a depth guy. Gavin Cross has picked it up of late. I don't love those numbers though, so I'm starting to get a little bit concerned about him. He was our top prospect coming into this franchise, and he hasn't quite developed as we'd hoped. Peyton Wilson continues to be a very good hitter. I might look to get him into the majors at some point this year. Caden Wallace, another one of those higher potential guys coming in the franchise. He hasn't performed well. We did get Diego Hernandez into the majors because of some injuries, and he performed admirably. So this is a guy to monitor going forward. Could be a nice little fourth outfielder for us. And then down here in AAA or AA, not too much to talk about. Carter Jensen's played well. Might be due for a call-up. Well, no real playing spot because Freddie Furman's there. But I like how he's played well. Gabriel Gonzalez has been a stud, so he was a really nice get. I believe he was from the Mariners, if I'm not mistaken. Jay Savina has picked it up of late. He was kind of struggling for a little bit, so nice to see there. And you see we've got some of our draft picks from last year into the AA. These guys aren't good enough to be in AA, but I'm like, hey, I got to push these guys fast, otherwise they're going to flop. So some of these guys, like Zarate, are actually kind of performing, so that's helpful. Switching back finally to the pitching rotations, Josiah Gray, we talked about. Alec Marsh has had a pretty good season. Taj Bradley has cooled off after a scorching hot start, but a pretty good year for him. Champlin and Hoffman, not great. Zerpa's been good in a long relief role. He might end up back in the majors at some point. Will Klein's had a good season at AAA. And we talked about Asa Lacy. And then Prelander Baroa, another guy we got from the Mariners. He's been very good. He's just waiting for a bullpen slot to open up. I wanted to make sure that he could kind of get settled in. He has, so I'm pretty excited to get him at the next level. Brian Lucas hasn't gained any overall, which is a little concerning, despite having a moderately good season, so we'll see what that's all about. Noah Cameron has had a very good year, so he's pushing for a call up to AAA. Frankie Moscato and Ben Kudra, blah, 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 blah. Not too bad. These were two of the guys I was intrigued about coming into this franchise as part of our pitching staff, so I like what I'm seeing out of those guys so far, and then nobody else to speak of there. So anyways, we are up to the 21st ranked team, so that's progress, I guess. Being a competing team, we might be like, hey, maybe we should buy at the deadline, but I'm probably still going to sell because I know this team is not good enough to really go into the playoffs anywhere. So, hey, you know what? We'll see how the next couple weeks go, but I'm probably going to be ending up selling. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go work on signing these draft prospects. Hopefully, cross my fingers, they turn out to be at least a couple of good ones. Hopefully the ones I scouted are good, and then I nailed maybe one or two of the guys late in the draft. So anyways, in the meantime, between time, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'm gone. Deuces.